here, BookTubes, and today is my ebook haul. So I normally don't do these month back-to-back months is the words I'm trying to find. But I was going to do anticipated releases, and I really didn't have enough that I wanted to talk about, and so I decided to skip that and do ebook haul instead. So this is the couple books that I have bought or downloaded for free since the last one, and what I currently have checked out from the library and from Kindle Unlimited that I have not started reading yet. So I do not do ones that I've already read. Honestly, that would be exhausting and I would have to do so many all the time. So I don't do that. Honestly, both from the library and Kindle Unlimited, I return those books without reading them like all the freaking time. So that's just the thing that I do, and I don't buy very many books for free or for money, and yeah, not very many. So we're gonna start with what I have from Hoopla. From the library, I have Neon Gods by Katee Robert. I was so excited when I saw that my library had this on Hoopla. So excited. So this is a modern Hades and Persephone retelling, and I've heard nothing but rave reviews about it, like the best ever. I know that Persephone in this has been arranged to marry Zeus, and she runs away because his last 3 wives have died mysteriously. Her mother is in charge of it. She's like, no, you're gonna marry him, and she's like, no, I'm not. So she runs away. She goes into the underworld, which is across the river and outside of the Olympus city. And in this, the gods are like elected officials rather than deities, and she runs and she ends up running into Hades, and he offers her his protection for sex, I think. But also I know that he's like super soft and sweet, like the sweetest, and I cannot wait to read it. Honestly, like I said, I don't think I know anybody that hasn't given this 5 stars, and I'm so excited. Also from Hoopla, I have Forged in Fire by Juliette Cross. Juliette Cross's Wolf in the Wild series, which is also on this list, is very popular on BookTube, but I did not realize that she already had this, and Steph from Novelty Corner was talking about it, and she made it sound so good. So the heroine is like the perfect person to be possessed by demons, and the hero is a demon hunter, and he's like trying to protect her from demons who like think she's the perfect vessel. That's all I know. It sounded so good. I was like, oh, let me check that, and my library had it. I was so excited. Also on Hoopla, I have Priest by Sierra Simone. The only reason I have this is because it is the Taboo Book Club pick for June, which is hosted by Tamika from Library of Tones. This month her co-host is Shay from Shay Geeks Out. I don't know if I'm gonna read this. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if I'm gonna read it. I don't have a huge desire to read it, but also I hear that it is like mind-blowingly hot. I just don't know, but I do have it from Hoopla. And this is obviously a priest romance and somebody in his congregation, but I don't think that it's like a 18-year-old virgin. I don't think, which is often something that kind of throws me off of this trope. I don't think that's what we're getting. I could be wrong though, I know nothing. Then from the library, not on Hoopla, so this means that I can read it on my Kindle, which means it's more likely that I will read it, truth be told. I have Root Magic by Eden Royce. Now when I downloaded this, I fully thought that was a graphic novel for children for some reason. It's not. It's a middle grade novel, just a book, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I've heard nothing but great things about this. I know that is a girl that like the sheriff is bothering her family, and there's like mean girls at school, and there's some racism against her, I believe, but I don't think it's super heavy. But she ends up being taught root magic, and I know it is Gula, I think. I can't remember the pronunciation. I talked about it in a video before. It's a magic and a belief system and spirituality that is passed down in the African American community. So people from slaves, specifically in South Carolina. I looked it up before when I talked about it, and of course now I can't remember any of the things. But so there is root magic in this, and the girl is the one that is practicing it, and like I said, is middle grade. I've heard nothing but amazing things. I would really like to read it, but honestly, I'm so worried about it because my brain is like going into a reading slump, and I'm like trying to stave it off, and I'm just worried about it. So I would like to read it. If I don't get to it on this checkout, I will check it out again, basically, is what I'm saying. But then I have Magic Triumphs, which is Kate Daniels number 10 by Ilona Andrews. It is the final book in the Kate Daniels series. I would really like to read it in June. Kate Daniels is a mercenary who purposely is middle-of-the-road mercenary, doesn't attract too much attention to her abilities, and she has romance with Curran, who is the Beast Lord, the Lord of the Shifters, and basically a lot happens that I can't tell you because it's the end of the series, but things are escalating, and it's just so good. It's just so good, and I really, really, really want to know how it ends. I have no idea, so there's that. I have The Dawn and the End, which is The Rising, number 3 by Kristen. This is a quartet series that I read the first 2 of in May, and I'd like to continue. It is not standalone books. Each book starts right where the last one ended, and you're following many points of view in a fantasy world where the 4 couples have to be couples in order to create the magic that defeats the rising of the beast. But they don't know that love is the most important part, so they're just treating it like an arranged marriage, and not everything is going great. We're so far into it. These books are so long and complicated and like just so many points of view, but I really do want to know what happens, and I'm invested, so I plan on reading all 4 books, even though they're so freaking long and there's so many points of view. And it took us so long to get to anybody even sleeping together for the first time. It'll be okay. We're still not at everybody having slept together, even though we're 9 million pages into it. I'm just very invested, so we're gonna keep going. Then I have Yona of the Dawn Volume 2. This is a manga that is raved about. And I read the first one and wasn't all that impressed because it is a teenage girl who is a princess who is so freaking naive. And it's like, oh, you gave me a thing for my hair. I'll love you forever. Ignore me. I'm not bitter. It's okay. But basically, things go wrong and she has to flee the palace with her bodyguard, who is very much into her and she doesn't know it. And they've been friends since children. And I hear that she has a lot of character growth. But I have to bring myself to get to that point because the first one I was not impressed with this naive little girl. Then I have Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which is the 3rd in the Brown Sisters series by Talia Hibbert. I really do love this series, even though it has the 3rd act breakup and the angst that I don't like. I do really like Talia Hibbert's writing. I think that it is whimsical and humorous and delightful. And I'm very much looking forward to this. I've heard so many people say that it is their favorite in the series. I gave both of the first books 2 stars. I gave both of the first 2 books 5 stars, and I'm just looking forward to it. Eve is a mess. And she's been cut off by her family until she gets her life together, and she ends up breaking the hero's arm by hitting him with a car, etc. And before he knows it, she's taken over his life without him really saying it was okay. And the hero, I believe, is autistic. I hear that they're just very sweet together, and I'm excited to read them. Then, just on my Kindle I have a sample of Sweethand by N.G. Peltier, I think might be how you say her name. I love the cover. First of all, the cover is gorgeous, like the prettiest cover of the year. But I haven't read it because my library didn't have it and Kindle Unlimited didn't have it, and it's about a baker and a weekend wedding thing, and I'm like not into either of those tropes, but also it sounds really sweet. It doesn't matter. So then Jess from Jess Owens was like, you have to read it, so she like sent it, and I don't know if she sent the book or not. It says sample, doesn't matter. I said I would give it a shot. I'm going to. Honestly, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. So I actually really want to like it. Like a lot, so we'll see. But it's like not my go-to tropes, it's like my avoidance tropes, so there's that. Don't mind me, I'm just like not into cake, okay? Okay. Then I think this is free. I got 3 Simple Rules by Nikki Sloane. I don't remember what it's about. I DNF'd the only Nikki Sloane book that I tried, but Izzy from Happy For Now was like, hey, you'll probably like this one better. You should try it. I think it might be an office romance. I don't remember. Do I have my computer up here? No. Did I look it up before I filmed? No. But Izzy told me to read it. And so here we are. Not that I listen to her very much about books, but here we go. Then also because of Izzy, I have Secrets by Aletha Romig. I did mention this in my Mafia TBR. Did not get to it though. What was this one about? This might be the guy that sees the picture and is like told if you're good, you get her. And it's like decades later and he's gonna claim her as queen. That might be what this book is about, or it might have just lied to you. Editing Heather will insert things that tell you the truth. Also, from the Mafia TBR, I downloaded for free Owned by the Hitman by Alexis Abbott. I heard a rave review about the second one of this, which is like $5 freaking on ebook. But, so I kind of wanted to read this first one. He gets her to be his woman for a year and he's going to save her. That's all I know. And then I bought Alejandro's Prey by Nikita Slater. This is Queens 1.5. It is a Mafia series. It is South American cartel, I believe, but definitely South American gang. And I don't know what this is about. It's like the first guy's second in command and she's trying to follow the rules, but she broke a rule and so now she's his. I don't know. But I kind of want to continue the series, so I have it. And I bought, while it was on sale, Wolf Gone Wild by Juliette. This is a booktube darling. I've heard nothing but rave reviews. It was on sale for $1.99. My library doesn't have it. KU doesn't have it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me get it while it's on sale. And I will probably read it the next round of Love in the Night, honestly. So I don't really plan on reading it anytime soon. It'll probably be for that. Then I bought The Love Infinite Mixtape by Alexandria House. These mixtapes that she does are so cool. I love them. So basically it's just sex scenes pretty much from her different couples, from her different books. And at the beginning of the scene, she doesn't say any names. So you're just like watching it unfold without quite knowing which characters it is. And then at the end, you kind of get the reveal of who it is. And a lot of times you can tell, if you've read the other books, you can actually tell who it is if you remember everything because of their mannerisms and the things that they say or they're arguing about or whatever. And I just love it. So it's just erotica, basically, but of characters I either already know or don't. Either way, it's fun to read about them, and I love how each couple really is unique in the bedroom, and I don't know what to tell you. I just really like these books. Then on Kindle Unlimited, I have Badly Behaved by Meagan Brandy checked out. This is the one where he's like from the wrong side of the tracks and she is a socialite. I really like Meagan Brandy. She writes fantastic, over the top, like bully new adult books, and when I'm in the mood, I'm going to devour this. I just know it because it's always so good. I read a excerpt on her Instagram recently where it was like all three were like crowding her, like 3 guys were crowding her in a dressing room, and I don't think it's reverse harem. And I was just like, oh, what are we doing here? Okay, all right, let's see where this goes. So I really like Meagan Brandy's books. When I am in the perfect mood, it will be delightful. And I have Pulling Doubles by Christina C. Jones. This is the second book in her Wright Brother series, I think. This one I know takes place at a hospital in between the brother, who is a doctor, I think, and maybe a nurse, maybe another doctor, maybe something else completely. I'm not sure, but I know it takes place in the hospital. I know it's enemies to lovers, and I think there's really good banter. Christina C. Jones writes great dialogue. Love her books so much, and this is just another one that I'm gonna read. And I have Real Love by Alexandria House. This is the 3rd book in this trilogy. I don't know what it's about. I don't remember at all, but I'm reading all of her books, and this is the next one that I'm going to read. I have not the slightest idea what it's about. Alexandria House writes steamy, funny, amazing characters. You really care about them. I love her books. You know this, I'm sure. Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm gonna read it. I have Into the Green by Jessica Gadziala. This is her Fae series, which I have not read yet. And I believe, if I'm correct, a human accidentally goes to the Fae lands, and that's what I'm reading about. And that's all I know, because I really don't know much. I just know that it's Fae and it's Jessica Gadziala, and that's all I need. Then I have 2 that I have checked out because I'm feeling like a reading slump might be coming back. And I'm like, no, I just had one. No, go away. So I have 2 possible rereads checked out right now. One is Set by Alexandria House, which is the first book I ever read of hers. It is a novella, is the first in the Them Boys trilogy. All 3 are novellas. They're funny and sweet and steamy. They do have a little bit of heavy content, specifically like the heroes were abused by their dad, not sexually, but definitely physically and verbally. He said that he was trying to make men of them, but he crossed lines that he never should have crossed, right? So there's that heavy kind of content in it. I will let you in on a secret. The first time I read Set, I DNF'd it. I DNF'd it because they had been together for 3 years and were just like seeing each other. They were almost just friends with benefits. When they were in the same town, they would sleep together, and when they weren't, oh well. And they actually went to high school together, but they weren't like friends or anything. And then they reconnected at their high school reunion, which was 3 years ago. Now we're 3 years into the relationship, and they are still just, you know, sleeping together. That's where the book opens. And I was like, oh, well, you've been together for 3 years. You still haven't done anything. I'm not into angst. I'm out. Should not have done that. Then I saw it recommended, picked it up, not realizing that I DNF'd it. Hello. And was like, oh, well, it came really well recommended. I remember just DNFing it because of the angst. So let me try. And like, if I'd read one more chapter, the angst would have been over. But you know me. Just like, I'm out. And I ended up enjoying it, and I liked each book in the series more. And I would really like to give Set another try. I want to reread the whole thing. But I feel like, honestly, my rating would probably go up on a reread. Because the first time I gave it 3 stars, and part of that was, one, honestly, not being familiar or used to AAVE, which like I was like, okay, well, I don't, it doesn't have to work for me, but like it was like my introduction to it, I feel like. And so at the time I was a little bit thrown, and then I wasn't a huge fan of the squirting and the sex. So that was another thing. And the other thing was like it took them 3 years to get together. And also like her daughter, I think, is like the worst. I didn't like her at all. So all those things. But honestly, I think that on this reread, I will like it a lot more because I ended up loving the series. Like I said, each book got progressively better for me. And I would really like to do a reread. And I just know that would be like a comfort read for me because I know what's gonna happen. And that's what I think I need right now. The other one that I have checked out for a possible comfort reread of Nothing Too Bad Happening is Hide and Seek by Layla Frost. He is a custom garage owner, and she's a baker, and she ends up like having her bakery by his garage. And she is from a wealthy family, but she's out from under their thumb. They're toxic, and she's like sweet and sassy and has tattoos, and I think her family doesn't like that, and like whatever. And this is a twist that I didn't see coming. I would just love to reread this. This was the first book that I ever read by Layla Frost. It's been a couple of years since I read it, and I would really like to reread it. So right now I have it checked out. We'll see. Honestly, I'm enjoying the book that I'm reading, so maybe we'll beat the reading slump. But like yesterday, the night before and yesterday, I read like 3 or 4 novellas and DNF like 2 books before I started the one that I'm reading. So like I had these checked out because I'm worried. I'm worried about where I'm going. So there you go. That's what I have downloaded right now. We shall see what I get to. Have you read any of these? Loved any of these? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.